Hey everybody, welcome back. So I just set up more training for everybody, which is mostly resting. Alrighty.
So we're getting close
I'm
to...
also going to open this video with Hicks is cool, because I've had some people commenting recently that Hicks is not cool, so I'm just going to correct you guys now.
So we got to figure out what we're going to do with Puddin here, since he is getting on.
You have nothing to say.
About Hicks? What?
Yeah.
I'm like... Actually, part of it was, we've been away for 6 months, so I was like, shoot, was one of the monsters named Hicks?
No, like I said, for some reason, I mean, I'm really glad that my viewers are enjoying my old videos, you know, because I know I rewatch a lot of old videos on other channels, but it's funny how, in mass, I've had people go back and rewatch them, and just today I had another comment asking me why I like Hicks. He's such a whiny brat, and I'm like, yeah, he is whiny, I will admit to that, but for some reason I just like him, and I don't know why, and he needs to get away from Tengar, I do know that, but I just had to add that in there.
I kind of feel like I want to play word association with you and just be like, Hicks, Sasserai, Flick.
Yeah, this is E for everyone. That's my answer to that.
Suikoden is S for Smappy.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's like, what?
he was frozen there.
Was he? I thought
Yeah.
he was just getting ready to shoot.
No, he was like completely... he was completely frozen, it looked like.
That's... oh. But,
The video will vindicate me.
no it won't! Weekend activities! Competition! Oh, it's the official C for Grahm. Devious now loading screen. Officially grade C. You know, every time we see grade C, I remember our first Monster Rancher
Yes.
LP, and how many times did we do the official C?
Well, that was kind of our starting point, though. Like, we would not even bother to record monsters until we got to C.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, we recorded every C rank we did.
Because
And sometimes we refused to let them lose, and we did it like a billion times.
Yeah, but that was kind of like... That was kind of their official introduction, because it was like, until then, it's all just raising. When you get to C, though, fun stuff starts to happen.
Yeah, and that was back when I was unfortunately on the emulator, because I didn't have any other way of playing them back then, and so it was easy for us to do save states. So we would just save state back to the beginning, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
You are a butt, good sir.
How can you say that?
I can say that, it's my channel.
But we had one of those in Monster Rancher 3.
I know, but I didn't attack myself with him.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah. I have a feeling that my accuracy is going to be my downfall here, because I... Roar. Roar!
Monster Rancher 4, now with more sound effects.
Yeah. Blur, blur, blur. This is ridiculous. I mean, what was that, a 0% chance just then? Let's do that one! I mean, why is my chance so low? I'm not that terrible.
Was his agility that good?
Speed?
Speed? I've been playing other games, okay? Give me a break.
I know, I've been playing so much Pokemon. I'm getting ready, because it's the 20th year anniversary this year, so I've been, playing a lot of Pokemon games. Actually, just today, Koro released a picture of a new Pokemon, and it looks awful. That was a terrible fight. You know, I don't normally pick on Nintendo for having bad designs for Pokemon, because having to design, like, a million new Pokemon every time is hard, and I respect that. But this one's just ugly. I'm sorry. It's just bad. It's like, I feel like they just took Deontay and it bred with a clink, and it looks terrible. For anyone who knows Pokemon, you could probably picture that.
I
But
don't know Pokemon.
yeah, I didn't think so. But it's just... I don't know. For the most part, I really like their designs. I'm not a fan of most of their legendaries, because I feel like their legendaries are way too over the top. I mean, the original, like the three birds from the original, and maybe a couple from like Gold and Silver were okay. Like I guess Ho-Oh and Lugia, I liked them, and I think after that, most of the legendaries after that, I just felt like we're just way over the top. Except for Groudon, I take that back. Groudon's my favorite because he's freaking awesome.
See, you mentioned like the three birds from the original, and now I'm like, okay, Zapdos and
Articuno and Moltres.
Moltres. That was the third one. I was like, see, I did actually play the first. Well, so the first one was just so ubiquitous. Everybody knew everything. It seemed like, but I guess
I hit him.
Actually, I guess I have played like every generation of Pokemon for like the first 4 generations or so.
Oh, finally. They're actually re-releasing the original Pokemon on Virtual Console this month. As much as I loved it, I'm probably not going to get it.
Who, me?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something to that.
Oh, no, I was just... Sorry, I was thinking off on a tangent. It's been funny, again, just being a newlywed, sitting down with a non-gamer wife to see what she likes. And I'm discovering slowly that she's a graphics snob. Which is coming as a complete shock to me.
Really? From the person who said the only game she played was Tetris?
I know, right? And so it's been really funny. Like she likes playing the new Super Mario Brother games and stuff like that, and she's okay with like Wii graphics. But like I try to show her like Super Nintendo or N64, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't do that."
I can understand Nintendo 64. That's kind of an acquired taste because it's so blocky, and 3D is really hit and miss with the games. But come on, Super Nintendo is the epitome of graphics spectacular right there.
With Super Mario World, she has some issues with. And so then I was like, well, let me try some other things. So I was going through the Wii U store with her the other day, and I hit on Wind Waker HD. And so I was like, I'm curious what her response is going to be to this, because I figured she was going to have like a positive response. And she's like, no, it looks too simple as far as the graphics go.
Oh, it's cel shading?
Yeah, it's the cel shaded. And I'm like, like, this game looks beautiful. Like, it holds up so well.
It does. I have to admit, it does actually hold up really well. And I have that. I got it for free on some Nintendo thing. I have that on my Wii U.
And so, yeah, it's interesting. Like, I'm trying to hone in on what it is that she does or doesn't like these. I'm trying to figure out what games we can play together. And so, like, what was it? The Witness came out a couple weeks ago, which was by the same guy that did Blade.
Yeah.
And so I was really looking forward to it. I still plan to play it at some point. But I was thinking, hey, maybe we can play this game together. So I had her look at the trailer, and the art style it's not cel-shaded, but it's like a very opinionated art style. And she was just like, not for me. And she's like, it looks kind of old-fashioned or something, like bad graphics or something. And I'm sitting there looking at it as computer scientist, and I'm like, no, they're like ambient occlusion there, like the shadowing is really good, like the reflections in the water are gorgeous, like they're clearly doing like these things and these things and these things, like this is gorgeous. They just chose to do an interesting art style that looks simple. And so I mentioned all this to her, and she felt like really self-conscious afterwards. She was like, I'm sorry.
Aww.
I'm like, no, you don't need to apologize for an opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, so...
Exactly. So...
Oh, I can't believe that actually hit.
I'm just trying to figure out... Seriously. Trying to figure out, what cube games that she actually will go for.
Come on, don't be Circle, or I'm going to be angry. Oh, it was Circle! So, real quick, you might, if you guys are actually watching the fight instead of listening to us, you'll notice I was doing a lot of counters. It's because he had like a 99% chance of hitting me anyway, so I might as well try counter every time. So, I might as well. I mean, at least have a third of a chance to hit him back, so... But yeah, going back to the whole, like, your wife in the video games, I was honestly surprised on how well she took to Mario Kart on the Wii U.
I know, right?
I was like really trying to pick a game that I thought you guys could enjoy together, and I was like, I know Super Smash isn't it, and I certainly know it's not, what is it, Splatoon? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I can't
Splatoon.
remember. Yeah, it's like I know it's not that one. I was like, I was hoping for Mario Kart, but I was surprised at how well she did when we raced against each other.
Yeah, she's slowly picking it up. She got good at 50cc finally, and then we got through all the Grand Prix for 50cc, so we went to 100cc, and now she's back to kind of square one again. Slowly working her skill level back up. So once she gets comfortable again with 100cc, then we'll probably move on to 150, and then it'll start
Yeah,
over
but
again.
considering that when I talked to her, she said the only game she never played was Tetris. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, well, that was the only one she said that she was ever good at, I think, is what it was.
Still.
Yeah. That looked like it should have hurt a lot more than it did.
Well, his defense is so high.
I know, but still.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I'm gonna have to counter, so I'm gonna hope that X is what I need to counter with. I was trying circle. Dang it. Of course it was circle. Alright, I'm just gonna stick with circle. Oops, I didn't mean to actually use circle. That was kind of a waste. I know that was accidental. Don't tell me it was a 0% chance, viewers. I know it was. Yeah, see, this is one strategy to take with this game is just to take every hit and hope you can hit them back with... Oh, wow, that actually works in my favor. Counterattacks.
Nicely done.
That was one thing I enjoyed about Monster Rancher 4 was your tactics could be totally different per
I was going to say, yeah, and that wasn't... Like, I would never have thought of that, or I probably would have eventually, but it would have taken me a lot longer. I just had never even occurred to me.
This is why I like to have at least one defensive monster on your group, because they'll generally push their way through if you build them well enough. Especially for boss fights in dungeons.
Gives everybody else a chance to recover their HP a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, I'm gonna save. Because it occurred to me in the middle of the last video that I wasn't saving and I was being a silly person, so... Sorry. I just invested in an Apple Watch today and it's in here dinging at me and I don't even know why it's dinging at me. I think my sister just sent me... Okay, she sent me something in WoW, but I can't see what it is on my phone, my watch. It's something to do with fish, I think. I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about.
So what you're saying is you have fish on your watch.
I don't know. I guess I have fish on my watch. It's funny though, because... thank you. Okay, I don't want to know. She just messaged me something funny I can't repeat, but I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so I don't actually have that many games on my phone because I use my phone so much for work. Not as much as I used to, but I certainly still have to use it quite often. But I have one game on there called Battle Camp, and I don't play it very much, but I do play it. And when I got my watch today, it came up and asked if it wanted to install the app for it, and I go, what could there possibly be for this on my watch? And it was like a Tamagotchi app, and I was like, oh my gosh, seriously? It was awesome.
So, speaking of mobile apps, she may only be good at Tetris, at least according to her, but I created a monster when I introduced her to P-Cross. Oh my goodness. So I found some iOS game called, what was it, Hungry Cat P-Cross?
Hungry Cat, yeah. Hungry Cat P-Cross.
So it's a color, like there's color tiles in this P-Cross game. And P-Cross, for those of you who don't know, it's like a grid coloring game.
Yeah, it's known by Nanocross, is that the other one? P-Cross, Color by Number.
Yeah, color by number is what we'll usually hear it called in America, but...
There's a lot of names for it.
P-Cross, P-I-C-R-O-S-S. Anyway, so... I had been playing it for a couple of days, and she kept, like, you know, wanting to interrupt me, and she'd, like, just swipe her hand across the screen or something like that to interrupt me. And I'm like, if you're going to keep doing that, you need to do the pieces in the right places. And she's like, well, how do you do it? So I showed her how to do it. Next thing I know, the app's on her, you know, tablet, and next thing I know, she's, like, 200 puzzles into the game. And I'm just like, holy cow, when did that happen? Like, after that, it turns out that the game has, they released one gigantic puzzle per week, and they released all the ones for the previous years. She had completed all of 2014 and like half of 2015. I was still working on like the main campaign for the game, which she had completely beaten already. And she had like gotten perfect scores on all of them, like, or she had gone back to get perfect scores on all of them. And I was just like, how in the world? Like, I looked at it on Game Center, and she had spent like 20-something hours in the game in like the last 3 days. I was just
Well, she wasn't feeling well either, so...
No, she wasn't. But I was just like, sheesh. Like, I went from, her asking me for help every now and then to, like, her being like, oh yeah, you did that wrong. Nope, you need to fix that. Like, staring over my shoulder whenever I'm playing now, telling me how to do it right.
That's funny.
Like, I've been playing these for years. Smappy told me how to play them when I was in undergrad.
Yeah, I started in middle school, but it's funny because I was actually... I played Pokemon Picross for a while, and I thought I knew every trick in the book when it came to them, but I actually learned one more when I was playing Pokemon Picross, because one of the Pokemon will give you a hint that there's like, you can do something in this row or column, and I came to this one, and it told me like, there's nothing in this row that I could possibly do, and I stared at it. I refused to give up. I had to know what it was, and I think I must have stared at it for at least 10 minutes when I finally saw what it was telling me, and I had never thought to do that before. And I haven't really had to use that strat, and it's complicated to explain. And if you don't know Picross, I'll tell you later. Icon, but it just amazed me that I had never really thought to do that before. But it only occurs when you have a 1 and a 2 next to each other. It doesn't matter the order, but I guess I had never really thought that there's only a specific setup when you get stuck in that situation. So, but. Anyways, yeah, I pretty much beat Pokemon Picross. I still have, I think, about 12 or 14 puzzles left, but I was afraid if I just beat it outright, I would never open it again, so I purposely left some, so I would keep checking it every so often, just to make sure I did. But I actually spent so much money in the game, it won't let me spend any more money on it. I spent, like, I think the max amount you can spend, which is like 25 or 30 bucks, and then it's anytime you need more stuff, and you can go to the store and it'll just give it to you for free, however much you need. I've never encountered such a thing ever when it comes to video games. Normally they just keep wanting to take your money, but they're like, nah, we only want to take so much of it, and then we don't care.
That's actually kind of awesome.
It is really awesome. I really appreciated it. I think it was a really great strategy because I ended up paying for a full game, which is great. And it was also available for people who just wanted to try it out. So I think they did that was probably the best structure I've ever seen. So I mean, as far as free to play, I think Dragon Ball started the really good way of doing it. That's a game that came out on the iPad years and years and years ago. I think it's still around, actually.
It is still around. I saw it on the App Store the other day, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was the bane of my existence for the year or two that I was playing. So
you only played it because I wanted you to see one of my dragons.
Yeah, if you go back, viewers, like 2 or 3 years, you might be able to find some recordings where we talk about it, but Smappy was playing this game, and late one night, when I was not in a good state of mind, she suggested, Icon, this game I've been
download it and look at it!
This game I've been talking about for weeks, just download it so you can come and view my...
It was a mountain dragon, I even remember which one it was.
It was a mountain dragon.
And I named him Diet Coke.
It was like such an early dragon, too. It's like a nothing dragon. Anyway...
Yeah, it was. I had a whole island of them.
Yeah, the entire island full of these mountain dragons or whatever. And so, next thing I know, I'm like, I don't know, 3 months in and have collected like every single, or I hadn't collected every one up to that point where I was working on it. Finally, I got to the point where I was like one dragon away from getting all of them, and then they added another one. And then I was one dragon away from getting them all, and then they added another one. It just kept happening over and over again for like 6 months straight. Like the day before I got done grabbing the last one, they would add the next one. They managed to stretch me out for so long. Finally, I got them all, though, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm out. Before they add another one, I'm out.
I remember I played it the day it came out, years ago, and that was back... They invented the genre, as far as I'm concerned.
No,
I didn't know...
The genre.
No, it's not. It's nothing like Farmville.
Isn't it? It's just
with the you get an elemental creature and you mix it with another elemental creature.
Well, okay, so I mean, there was other things like there was Doodle God and stuff like that we were playing back.
Yeah, but that's what I meant by this genre. They took the idea and they just said, now let's collect dragons. There's a million of these now.
Yeah, that's true.
Is what I'm getting at. Is this specific creature thing?
Yeah, whatever the subgenre is, they definitely did. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah, so of course back then I didn't realize that the goal was to collect all of them. Like I just had so much fun making a million mountain dragons because didn't understand the point back then, but I remember I kept playing long after you did, and I had every single dragon that ever came out until one day I missed it. And I was devastated that I don't even remember which one it was. I think it might have been one of the Christmas ones because they released several or something. And I was so upset that I missed one that I just couldn't keep playing. And after having spent probably 2 years on the game, I just quit, and I have not gone back to it since. And I've tried a couple others since. Yeah, I tried Dragon City for a while, and that was annoying in its own right. And I've tried a lot of others, but I have to admit, I'm not sure which was the best one out of all of them. Because the thing about Dragonvale was you could buy gems and stuff to enhance it, but it wasn't required to play. And that's what I enjoy about free-to-play games, you know? Not pay to win games. There are a lot of those pay to wins. You know, like they're like PvP. It's like, how much money can you give us to win?
Yeah, that's just lame.
It's like Godsey Lab, who made Happy Street, was also one of my favorite games for a really long time until they introduced Facebook. And again, it was a game where it had every single thing in the game, and I was proud of it. And they introduced Facebook, and you get a special building if you had Facebook. And then I didn't want to play anymore after that because I don't have Facebook accounts. So I was like, no! I was so upset that I couldn't get that stupid building, and I refused to get Facebook because. But going back, anyways, so they made a second game recently called like Pirate Power or something. You pirates, and there's this PvP arena, and it's a shame though because the game is so good, but they keep having this get something special and awesome if you can play PvP, and I'm like, I don't want to. I have a job. I have to go to my job. I can't keep playing this game.
I remember I read like a New York Times article or something about the guy who was at one point the #1 champion at Clash of Clans.
Oh my gosh, did he have a life at all?
No. In fact, he was being, like his clanmates or whatever, they were actually paying for him to play, basically. Like they were paying for like his rent and stuff like that, and one of the guys had actually bought him multiple iPads so that he could play multiple accounts simultaneously because you're locked into one account per device or
That's
something.
horrible.
So at one point he had 6 iPads that his clan had bought him, and he apparently was like taking Ziploc, or he was like using Ziploc bags, putting the iPads in the Ziploc bags, and then taking them into the shower with him.
Oh my god.
Just so that he could keep playing in the shower. Whenever he got done for the end of the day and went to bed, his clanmates all had his passwords and stuff so they could log in and keep going with whatever was going on. It was like the guy basically put his life on hold for 6 months to play, and then one day he just woke up and realized what had happened and like went cold turkey quit.
I bet that was tough.
I don't know. I mean, I've had those moments where you just kind of realize I've wasted this time. What am I doing?
Oh yeah, I have plenty of iPad games where I've realized that.
So the most recent one for me was Adventure Capitalist, which is another one of those clicker games where you just click and click and click.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've been for the longest time wondering what was so great about it. And so I actually just downloaded one yesterday to see what was so great about it because I just couldn't. My curiosity got the better of me.
Run away.
And I got Bitcoin Billionaire because that's one of the top-rated ones. And it was fun for about 5 minutes, looking at the graphics, because I like to study UI. I found the UI very well made. In fact, I couldn't get past how well made the UI was. I mean, obviously there were issues, but for the most part, it was really well done. And it was cute, but I was just like, okay, now what? And I've been picking it up a couple times since last night, since I got it, but still, it's kind of like, I tap the screen, and my dog walks around, and my person complains that I'm not tapping the screen, and I'm like... But, you know, it's funny, though, because, again, the whole psychology behind it, this little Amazon drone keeps coming by and trying to drop... It wants me to tap it so it drops the box. And, it's funny how well they've done it. That makes me really want to tap that box. And then you have to hold down... You have to hold your finger down on the screen to open the box. And it's just like... Because you want to tap it, you know, so it's trying to get your attention for more than 1 second because you actually have to hold down your finger to open the box. And it's been an interesting study, but the game probably won't last much longer on my iPod.
Yeah. Adventure Capitalist lasted, unfortunately for me, for a couple of months.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And I finally quit when I had done the math and I was like less than a day away from getting the getting the Steam trophy, the Steam achievement for getting everything. And they suddenly like added like 20% more to the game and changed the achievement to require that you get the additional stuff.
Aww.
And I've been playing the game not since launch, but pretty close to launch, and so I knew that I was playing pretty optimally and whatnot. And so I looked at the forums, and sure enough, like they just exploded with people being upset because they intentionally timed it basically to get people right as they were getting to that achievement.
Yeah.
And this had come like right after they did like a botched thing with the Steam cloud saves where it was deleting user data and stuff like that and forcing people to start over.
Oh.
And so people were losing months of quote-unquote work. And so I just called it quits at that point. I was like, you know what, this is the excuse I've been looking for to quit the game. And I've kind of realized, too, whenever I get to the point that I'm looking for an excuse to quit a game, that itself is an excuse to quit to get the game.
Yeah. I think right now the longest running game I've had on my iPad, well, sadly, is Smurfs Village, but that doesn't count. But I've been playing a lot of Sims Free Play. I really enjoy that game. And they're doing this community event right now, which, since I've been playing, which has only been the past year, they haven't done that before. Speaking of which, it's probably what's been my iPad's. My iPad's actually been sitting here dinging at me this entire time, and I didn't know why, and I bet it's because my Sims are probably all finished gathering fruit for this event. But I'll have to check it later. Try not to let it rule my life, as much fun as my Sims are.
So I've been wanting to sink my teeth into a new game recently, but I haven't been able to figure out what I want to play yet.
Oh, well, I have lots of I stopped giving you suggestions because you didn't care about most of them, so I just stopped suggesting. And that and the Apple Store won't let me look at all the stuff they give you every day. You have to wait till Thursday now, which really irritates me.
Yeah, I think you burned me with Dragon Veil, though. I mean, you know how that goes. No, I was actually thinking something more like a JRPG or something. I've been kind of in the mood for something.
Well, they just uploaded Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, I saw that actually, but no, I don't know. I still want something that I can. Okay, so there's kind of a couple things going on. One, I want something I can play with my wife.
On
And I was
iPad?
like, oh, like I have an Xbox 360 with like 3 games on it left that I haven't played, and I want to beat them so I can finally get rid of the Xbox 360. Like sell it off, take it off my, out of my media system and all that stuff. And so one of them is Lost Odyssey.
Oh no, don't play that with her. That is gotta be the most depressing game I've ever played.
And so...
And I'm sure Helper knows exactly what I'm talking about. He just said it, yeah. I'm wearing headphones, so he can't hear Icon. So he just heard me say it was the most depressing game ever, and knew exactly what I was talking about.
So I was like, well, Helper and Smappy played it together, so maybe...
Well, we had to quit because I couldn't stop crying. Helper couldn't watch me keep crying. I mean, the guy would walk into town and goes, "It's a barrel." I remember a guy that stood by that barrel. He died. Let's talk about how he died for the next 20 minutes in a cinematic sequence. And it would say the most depressing story about how this guy next to the barrel died. And I'd be like, crying. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. And he walked like 2 feet down the street and goes, "Oh, it's a table." I remember a guy who sat at that table. He died. And I'm like, oh my god. He kept going and going and going. That was the entire game. I mean, it was well written and it was fun to play, but I just couldn't take it any longer.
We did not pick it up. I talked about it to her, and I was like, well, "What do you think about something like this?" And she just kind of went, "Uh-huh, yeah, maybe keep looking, Icon." So I'm still looking. So
well, I gave you Arts and Ellico, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and I have no idea how she would feel towards like PS2 graphics.
Well, those are the old sprite style, like Suikoden sprite style.
That's true, yeah, I forgot about that.
And they have anime, when they zoom in, they have like those big anime portraits, like JRPGs.
Well, but she also is not into anime. She's a normal person. She's
oh no, you'd be playing it in English then, wouldn't you?
I guess we wouldn't.
Oh no, I strike that suggestion. Yeah. You cannot play Arts and Ellico in English. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't fly.
No, I'm not gonna sully the game. No offense to the English voice actors, but
first of all, for anyone who's played Arts and Ellico 1 or 2, I actually do have to say, sorry, voice actors, you really failed. And second, the translations failed bad. I actually have played Arsenal 2 specifically in English and Japanese, and the English version was so horrible I couldn't take it. So
How do you really feel?
oh my god, it was horrible. Like, Croy was horrible. I just couldn't get past it. Like, my friend got really frustrated watching me playing Japanese, mostly because the cinematics don't have subtitles. Even though I knew what they were saying, she didn't, and it drove her nuts. But it was just the battle sequences that were the worst, and unfortunately, I really shouldn't repeat the stuff he said, because in context it was fine, but you could really take that stuff he said out of context, especially in a game like that, so it was just bad. So it was just, there were a lot of innuendos in the game, and they were translated very badly and stuff like that, so... Because it's funny, because they translated them fine in the subtitles, because one of the characters spoke formally, so I understood her for most of the time. So I felt like the translations were fine, but when they did the English voice acting, they changed the script. They didn't keep it. So...
Yeah, it seems like they do that. I was gonna say my problem though nowadays is if they don't have it subtitled in the cinematics, I'm gonna run into trouble because my Japanese is way too rusty. Like at this point, I'm lucky if I can pick a word out, just because it's been, I don't know, when did I graduate? 10 years ago? 9 years ago? So I haven't taken Japanese in 9 years, and I haven't had an excuse to practice it in that entire time. So, to say the least, my skills are gone at this point.
Oh wait, no, I need Grahm on that.
I mean, I'm lucky if I can count the 10. Now I'm trying to think through counting the 10.
What do you want to count to 10? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's good.
That was the one thing I hated about Japanese, was the millions of counting systems.
I still remember like some of the ways that the verbs worked and stuff, or the word endings. I still remember some of that stuff. I still remember some of the vocab words. I remember bits and pieces, but it's, if you gave me a sentence in Japanese, you'd have to speak it like very, very slowly and use very simple words. And you'd have like a 10% chance of getting through to me.
Konbanwa.
I think that means like hello.
Close. Good
afternoon.
evening.
Okay,
Good evening, yeah.
Close.
Because it's
But see-
evening.
That's what I'm getting at though. It's been so long. I'm hopeless. So
I try to keep from getting too rusty, so...
that's good.
I'm still sitting here trying to think of a good JRPG to suggest to you.
So then the other side of it is we're getting through Mario Kart. We're getting through New Super Mario Brothers U. What do I play with her next? Because I want to keep her playing some games. I want to expose her to more of video gaming cultures. It's not as much of an unknown for her. Because what I've figured out is it's not that she's really opposed to video games. It's just that she doesn't know much about them because she wasn't really exposed to them.
I know. I don't know if you're going to be able to get a copy of it, though, unfortunately. Nothing about it. Atli or Iris. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's an old PlayStation 2 series.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Again, it's the sprite graphics, but there's a lot of humor in it. I don't know if that's something you could find on the...
Well, I'm sure I could find it somewhere like on eBay or something, but...
Maybe Monokemia was actually a reboot of the series, and the first Monokemia was actually very good as well, and there was some replay value in it.
Wasn't it?
Yes and no. I guess it could be considered a spin-off. There were two of them. The second one was... I can't really rate the second one, because I think when they programmed it using an IMAX theater, because I can't read the text. The text is so tiny, I honestly can't read it, and so I've only been able to get about halfway through the game. But I've actually considered LPing, like, the first Monokemia or Atli or Iris, actually, because I really enjoy them. The only problem with the one thing keeping me from Monokemia is it's very much, if you're trying to use a software emulated PlayStation 3, you will most likely lose your data at some point. It will just delete your data for no reason. We've had that happen several times. So you have to use a PlayStation 2 or get a digital copy, but...
Well, and when you say software emulated PS3, what you're talking about is an actual PS3, but one of the ones that was not the original release, one of the later ones that used software in the PS3 to emulate PS2 games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that they don't work very... It's same problem with most NIS games of that era. They just don't work on them.
Yeah.
But the other problem with Monokemia is there's a million endings. I actually have not even myself seen all the endings. I've seen 3 of them, and that's not something I want to record. I mean, if my viewers want me to play it and they're happy with me picking one ending, and even if they vote on which ending it is, that's great, because then I'd be happy to play it. Just playing it through one time and showing off the game, I'd be happy to do it. But I kind of get the feeling a lot of these days, Necroscope is one of the few who just sits down and plays the game, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks. But a lot of people are like, you didn't show off everything, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, it takes up a lot of time to replay the entire game again, because unfortunately, the way that Monokemi is set up is the endings are dependent on which person, because there's a whole bunch of people in your party, like I think there's like 6 or 7, or maybe even 8, but depending on who you get closest to, like doing all their personal quests and everything, that you get their ending. So I would literally have to replay the whole game, because you can only get close to maybe 2 or 3 people, and then you can just kind of pick one at the end. You can't even do, it's not possible to do everyone's quest. There's just not enough time in the game. So, but having, wasted this entire video talking about everything but Monster Rancher, I think we'll end it here.
It's a great stopping point.
Yes, right before another fight. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.